Welcome all to the latest episode of Retro Gamer Nation. In this episode we're going to take a break from reviewing and showcasing new games for vintage computers, and instead I'm going to take you through my physical collection of new games for the old Commodore and Amstrad computers that I've collected over the past 18 months. Most of which will be for the Commodore 64. Let's start with my collection of games from Cytronic Software, the most proficient software publisher for the Commodore 64 for well over a decade. Cytronic Software games come in a few formats, with my favourite being the Premium Plus Disc Editions, which feature games being presented on a 5¼ inch floppy disk with some gorgeous full-colour double-sided artwork in a clear plastic disc case. The large but thin cases feel great in the hand and would look great on a shelf with the spine pointing out. But I prefer to use these multi-tiered A5 brochure holders to display these games in a way that best displays the great cover artwork on offer. The floppy disks themselves are very well presented, with each game coming featuring a full colour graphical sleeve and a vinyl disc label. Coincidentally, all of the Cytronic disc games can be purchased without a plastic case and cover art for those who are on a budget or perhaps lack the storage space. Some of the Cytronic Software games come in a special collector's edition box set that sees the game disc bundled with a soundtrack CD, poster, badges, keyrings, postcards and stickers, all professionally packaged within a high quality glossy box with fully featured artwork all around. They simply look wonderful. And just recently I started collecting some of the older Cytronic titles in the cassette format. These are also presented with high quality artwork and professional looking cassette tape. Talking of tapes, here's a small collection of independent games in cassette format, including the multi-format release of Rodman, published by The Future Was 8-Bit. Now let's take a look at some C64 Cartridge Editions originating from RGCD. These carts are all presented within a universal game case with a manufactured adhesive foam insert to securely hold your carts in place. It's a great design and the packaging with its cover artwork looks wonderful. RGCD carts within this deluxe packaging usually come bundled with some extra goodies. The Hunter's Moon Remastered is technically a Thalamus release, but there is no mistaking that the packaging for the game has been handled by RGCD. RGCD's Amiga releases are equally well presented in a modified plastic case that is thicker than the C64 Cartridge Editions. The Amiga versions will typically consist of a number of goodies being bundled with a glass mastered CD containing the game's images. The deluxe versions of these sets will also feature the game on floppy disks. The next batch of games I would like to showcase are from Polyplay. My collection of Polyplay games include games for the C64, Amiga, Amstrad and MSX. Here I have a couple of games for the Amstrad in a smaller cassette format. My cassette version of The Dawn of Kernel comes in a big box format that includes a digital copy of the game on micro SD card. I believe all big box formats from Polyplay include a copy of the game on a micro SD card. Just take a look at how good the artwork on the bare essentials for the C64 is. Unfortunately, the quality of the Polyplay big boxes could be improved, as their softness means that they can easily be damaged even before they get delivered to me. And I have had issues with the adhesive on a couple of them, resulting in the box coming apart. Next, we take a look at a few games from North American publishers. La Vie d'Amour from Double Sided Games comes in a box similar to the size of that of Psytronics Collector's Editions. Inside, the game card is loose within a Ziploc bag. CollectorVision's packaging for their C64 Sydney Hunter game is disappointing. The cardboard box feels cheap and flimsy, and the inside has a bit of polystyrene insert to hold the card in place. This sort of thing may be okay for the video console scene, but the vintage computer games collector expects a lot better considering the price point. Fortunately, the 8-bit guy comes to the rescue when it comes to the representation of North American physical editions. Planet X2 for the C64 contains a good quality big box with the game disc being bundled along with a professionally printed and detailed game manual. And the game soundtrack comes on cassette tape as well. But not everything from Europe is of great quality. The physical edition of the Amiga game Bridge Strike comes in your bog standard cheap DVD style case. What is worse is that the included CD disc is actually a CDR. And just to give me one final kick in the guts, my floppy disk, which the publisher originally forgot to include in my pack, contains corrupted data and cannot load up the game. The publisher did send me a replacement set of discs, but these never arrived, so I just gave up and was provided a partial refund. By the way, a lot of these games do come with great looking posters, which I keep most of these in an A3 display book for easy access. Some of the posters are double-sided, with a game map being featured on the backside. Before I finish off showing you my collection of games from Protovision, I do have a small collection of old physical box games. The Last Ninja games and the game Detective are all that are left from my original collection from the 80s. In recent times, I've been collecting this specific format of Microprose big box games, which I think looks simply spectacular. I've also just started collecting the Cinemaware big box range that specifically features the distinctive Cinemaware branding along the top. If you happen to have Defender of a Crown or Wings or Lords of the Rising Sun in this style and are looking to sell, I'd be interested to hear from you. And now, to finish up, we take a look at my favourite range of big box games, which are from Protovision. These editions exude quality all throughout. High quality glossy cardboard, great artwork all around, foam inserts, glossy manuals and nice small touches all go a long way to justify the premium price tags that they demand. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed taking a quick look through my collection. If you collect physical copies of new generation games for vintage computers, which ones are your personal favourite? Let me know by leaving a comment. Until next time, bye for now.